The love of some guy named Luke Skywalker for hot chocolate is something that comes up regularly throughout Star Wars Legends, from some of its earliest days to pretty much the end of publishing new Legends material, and it's easy to understand why hot chocolate is delicious. It first gets mentioned in Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn, where Luke mentions it as having been first introduced to him by Lando Calrissian. Zahn, in the annotations to Heir to the Empire from the 20th anniversary re-release, mentions getting a lot of flack for introducing a real drink to Star Wars instead of just making some non-hot chocolate treat. But as far as he's concerned, quote, "Why would anyone want to live in the galaxy far, far away if they don't have chocolate?" And I think he makes a good point. Hot chocolate gets further mentions in a bunch of books and comics, including the comic that covers Luke's marriage to Mara Jade. Regular chocolates are even sold in the MMORPG Star Wars Galaxies, where an Imperial organizer sells a box of chocolates called the Gracious Government Mix. They also sold Order 66 cookies in that game, which seems like it was probably more of a secret thing, so maybe that makes a little bit less sense. I don't know how much Order 66 really got advertised, especially under that name. People were definitely told that the Jedi were taken out after being part of a plot to take down Palpatine or whatever else, but I don't know that they really advertised it as a contingency plan that was being acted on. In the Dark Nest books, when Leia is trying to question Alema Rar, one of several Jedi Knights who've joined a kind of hive mind in an insect species nest, she makes hot chocolate for them both. Leia starts prepping it based on real chocolate from a special supply of Luke's, but Alema mentions typically just getting out of a dispenser, which seems to have been an artificial replacement that was more common in the galaxy, rather than something based on actual Star Wars chocolate, so it would have been a drink that people were familiar with, but probably in a different form than what Luke would typically drink. The process of making it is described including using orchid extract, which seems to be a kind of vanilla substitute, mallow paste, which is intended to be marshmallows, but it's made out of pasted up plant, which actually sounds kind of gross, and Leia also mentions putting some tang bark spice in it, which she has to clarify to Alema is just flavoring spice, not the drug, when Alema perks up at the idea of spice being added. That same passage, though, hints at a dark fate for chocolate in the Star Wars galaxy. A few years ago, the galaxy had been overrun by a species of extragalactic invaders called the Yuuzhan Vong during the New Jedi Order series. While they had been driven back, the Vong had managed to take many planets and began replacing the entire ecosystems with their own. This unfortunately included Vong forming 7 of the 8 planets capable of producing chocolate in the Galactic Alliance. You'd think they'd have found more ecology suitable for it, but Dark Nest makes it clear that hot chocolate, real hot chocolate, which had always been a bit of a niche delicacy, was now even more rare. Maybe this new scarcity is why Luke needed to have not just a special supply, but to keep part of that special supply on a former smuggler's ship, the Millennium Falcon. It's all very suspicious. During the Fate of the Jedi series, which is set about 10 years later, Luke is on a kind of self-imposed but also forced exile from the Galactic Alliance under Natassi Dalla, who's become the Chief of State. And there's a few chapters that cover the relationship between Han and Leia Solo and their granddaughter, Alana, who is living with them after the death of their son Jason, her father, and Tenel Ka, her mother, deciding that she would be safer with her grandparents than she would among Hapan politics. It's become a kind of tradition for the Solos and Alana to have hot chocolate regularly, and this is happening at a time that Luke is kind of away from everything and wouldn't have access to his hot chocolate stores. So that entire time, Han and Leia are slowly drinking what we can assume is probably Luke's remaining supply of hot chocolate. Unfortunately, when Luke comes back, we don't really hear his reaction to this, and we never see him replenishing his supply. So maybe he goes and buys the by now more expensive hot chocolate because there's so much less of it being produced. But maybe this ruins his relationship with them forever. We can never know. That's all for our look at Star Wars hot chocolate, though. If you've enjoyed, consider leaving a like or subscribing for more. If you have another topic you'd like to see me cover on the channel, please leave in the comments. We've had a couple of sillier topics this weekend, so I'm going to try to do something a bit more serious next week. Serious for fictional space universes, I mean. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.